Sister Soria and Brother Greg, they were nice enough to come to our school.
Brother Greg was so nice to us when he had patience with us. When we were talking too much, he had patience with us.
Well, the teachers, they were very nice. They taught us lots of stuff.
It was lots of celebrations.
Sister Shalia, she was nice with us because she had her patience too, and she taught us the dances.
It was just an incredible performance. The kids really adapted to what was going on around them and what they learned, and even the teacher said it really created more harmony in the school. And so they had less problems. There was effectively less, situations that would go wrong because it was an energy that kind of brought positive love and spiritual vibe to the school system and what we were bringing. So we were very happy that, we were a part of that.
Well, I think they were the best. I think that they were great, and I wish that they could come back again.
We actually got to learn a lot of stuff, like the names of drums.
There's a baby drum, a mom drum, and a dad drum. And the baby drum is called kinkani, the mom drum is called sungpa, and the daddy's drum is called dundumba.
I like the djembe that I got to play it and feel what it's like to play a drum.
The dancing, the drumming, I like really all of it.
I feel awesome and excited.
Performance was really good and outknown as a really good idea to do.
They told us that sometimes you just can't give up. Sometimes.
Good afternoon, Buckner. Thank you so much for coming out to our fourth grade performance. I learned about living rhythms in Hartford, Connecticut when I went back in April to our magnet conference. And I was blown away by the presentation, and so I then went to the workshop, and I was blown away again. Robert Garner, who is back there, and I went to their presentation and workshop and was blown away again. And then that's when the relationship started. We started corresponding via emails, via phone calls. They came out this summer and did a workshop with our teachers. And so our teachers actually got to experience living rhythms. And then we were gifted with the opportunity to present this wonderful experience to our kids. Our fourth grader, every one of our students actually has gone through the experience. Every student in our building has touched one of these drums. And now we would like to present to you a show with our fourth graders. So without further ado, I am going to introduce Brother Greg and Sister Shalia, is what we call them, and our fourth graders and second graders with our presentations of living rhythms. Thank you.
Give him a hand, please.
The drums we are playing today are called Djembes. Djembes come from West Africa. They are very old.
Djembes are made of wood and goat skin. In Africa, people play the djembe for happy celebrations.
Good, and so what I try to tell them is let them know a little bit about what they've been learning. These instruments that we're playing are called djembes. They come from West Africa, countries such as Mali, Guinea, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. These are the countries where you can find this instrument. Right now, you can find it everywhere. You can go to Target and find a djembe. You know what I'm saying? So it is a pretty well-rounded instrument. And so we are very happy to have our kids here perform for you the first piece they're going to do. And this piece is called Jansa. Now Jansa is a rhythm that comes from Guinea, West Africa. And Jansa is a rhythm in a dance style that they do for celebration purposes. And these kids are going to show you just what the celebration purpose is all about. So, without further ado, we're going to do our chansa. I told you they were working hard. They did a stupendous job all week. And they've been doing so much great work. And we really so happy to be able to allow you to see what they've been doing. What we're getting ready to do is a piece that my teacher, Mama D. Keita, taught us. Mama D comes from Guinea, West Africa. He is a grand master and a Malinke style drummer. And what he does in his company is not only teach the music, but he also teaches what he calls the pyramid. And so what the pyramid is, it is kind of like an introduction before you get to the actual rhythm. The rhythm we're doing is called Joliba. All right, the Joliba rhythm comes from Guinea, West Africa. This piece that we're adding onto it, the pyramid, is the introduction, so to speak, to the rhythm. So we're getting ready to do the Joliba. I hope you enjoy it. Our teachers did a great job in rehearsal, and so they shall let you see just how wonderful they are. Here we go. Our teachers, ladies and gentlemen.
The djembes are also played with another set of drums called dunums. There are 3 sets of drums. The baby drum is called the kinkini. The mommy drum is called the samba. And the daddy drum is called the dundumba.
Good. Come on over. Come closer.
When people play drums in West Africa, they also dance. Drumming and dancing can go together.
Very good, you guys. Thank you. Clap for our teachers. Okay, so as I said before, the Yadon Yadon is a rhythm and dance style that comes from Mali. And this particular rhythm and dance style, the children are going to perform for you. This particular dance style is done for the royalty. the continent of Africa, where the kids learn all their lessons and the school lessons. And, you know, one of the things, because my teachers have told me about how it is over there, is that when the children come to school, okay, it's very important. When they come to school, they acknowledge their teachers right away, by giving them hugs, by giving them acknowledgments, doing what they're supposed to do. And when they come to class, they stand right at their desk and say, "Good morning, teacher." And they don't sit down until the teacher lets them sit down. So that student will stand there the entire time until the teacher says, "Okay, you may sit." So what I've learned about how it is over there, as well as I'm seeing here, is that the kids are learning more and more about respect. And this is what warms my heart. Because as we learn more about respect, respect for ourselves, one another, what we have to do in school, what we have to learn at home, and just in our community, it warms my heart to know that we are definitely on the right path of teaching. So I want to give not only the students a round of applause, but the parents, the teachers, the staff, everyone. Let's all give each other a round of applause, please. Thank you so much. So important. Another thing I want to say is that, you know, the kids learn so fast. You know, it's like you give them all this information and you want to continue giving them. There's never enough time in a day because they catch on so quickly. And we always think, oh, well, there's too much to show one time. And then, I never think like that, because I know that if someone is enjoying what they're learning, they can continue to learn at a rapid rate. So never look at, oh, well, I'm giving them too much at one time. Give it to them, because you'll be surprised how well they do in class when they get this information at a quicker rate and they enjoy it. That's the main thing. They learn to enjoy the information. They share it at home with their brothers or sisters, and they pass it down. So without further ado, we're going to move on to our next part of our presentation, and we are going to be able to give you a chance to see what we're getting ready to do next. The readers, always our readers, must come forth. Mr. Tolan's class, thank you very much for coming up. All right, here they are.
We are learning about the Djembe rhythm and dance because it helps us with focus, listening, and teamwork. It also teaches us about the culture of another place.
African dance gives people a chance to express their personalities. It is also an activity that gives people a chance that brings people together.
The next piece we're getting ready to do comes from Guinea. It's called Sinte. Everybody say Sinte. Sinte! All right. Sinte is a rhythm and dance style that comes from Guinea, West Africa. And Sinte is so powerful because I love doing Sinte in the schools, because Sinte is like preparation for going into another phase of your life, like a rites of passage. How the Sinte is done is it's a ceremony before the kids go into the bush to learn all of their lessons. And by the time they come out of that bush, 6 months later, they are now not considered children anymore, but young men and young women. All of their old clothes are given to their mothers, and they're given new clothes to wear. So it's kind of like a graduation. So we wanted to do Sinte as our way of honoring our initiates and learning and positive energy and positive flow, and that they've graduated from all of their learning, and now we are going to consider them young men and women. Sinte.
And with all that said, I'm going to need some help with Sinte. The help that I'm needing is a couple of my family members that have come today. So, can I please have, I don't know, about 4 men and about 4 ladies from our family Come on up. I promise you, it's very easy. Just 4 ladies. Please don't make me come back there and get y'all. Come on. Come on. 4 men, 4 ladies. Yes, help me out. Come on. Real simple stuff. If you have a right foot and a left foot, you are good to go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to do Sinte. For some people that might have right and left challenges, we're going to start by doing what we taught Buckner Elementary. We call it the ice cream. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Waiting. The ice cream, what we do is we're just going to alternate our feet by putting out our heels. So you do right heel, left heel, right heel, left heel, right heel. Don't even use the arms yet. It's going to confuse you. Just keep it moving. Right heel, left heel. And stop. Put your hands at your shoulders. Y'all can do this in your seats. Just don't move your feet. Now, someone is giving you a bowl of ice cream. What are you going to do with your arms? So that's all you're doing. Touch and ice cream. And ice cream. And ice cream.
go ahead and do really quick before we end our program. I have some new special friends, very, very special friends of mine, and I've invited them to do a special part of the Sinte. So can my friends please stand really quickly? My friends, you know who you are.
I just want to mention that was Miss Dooling's class that did the ending of the Sinte. So I want to give them a special thank you. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you. That was wonderful. Before we leave, we just want to say thank you for allowing us to come to your school, to your community, to spread some of this tradition of West Africa to your school and to the community. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. I want to leave a little quote that our teacher, Mama D, says, and that quote is this: the Djembe does not see how old we are. The Djembe does not see what gender we are, whether boy or girl, man, woman, right? And the Djembe does not see our nationalities, whether we're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. What the Djembe sees is our hearts. And we want to thank you for sharing your heart with us, because we've shared our hearts with you, and we're so very happy to be here. So thank you very much, Buckner Performing Arts School. Thank you.